Okay, that's surprising. It's fine. Hey guys, I'm Dig It Starnes. Welcome to the channel. So a few months back, we decided we're gonna order a Chinese mini excavator, which I finally have behind me. A little bit of background. So what I do for a living, have a heavy equipment business, so I'm very familiar when it comes to equipment. We didn't get this to use on projects. We didn't get this to use on a homestead. We got this purely to test it from a professional equipment operator's standpoint. What is the quality? What's the price like? If you're a homeowner, it's about 1/3 of the cost of the standard name brand machine this size. So is it worth it? Is it gonna hold up? So we got the cheapest model to hopefully give you guys some answers. By the way, guys, this video is sponsored by Dig It Supply Company. It's a clothing company that we've started. We have operator-themed clothing, merchandise that's geared towards people who operate for a living. We have both high visibility and stuff as this. Your hole is my gold, Dig It Supply Co. So we have a website, it'll be in the title below, and it not only helps us do stuff like this, but we are giving away a 2022 24K rated dual tandem gooseneck trailer, and that's taking place on October 16th. Any purchase enters you to win, and anywhere in the lower 48 in the US, I drive it to you personally if you win, or there's a $10,000 cash option. So if you'd want to go check it out, we'd sure appreciate it. Okay, so that went surprisingly well. This is the side panel. Protects the motor. Over there it protects the hydraulic reservoir. So I guess we'll see how durable that one is. That's it. This is slightly thinner. Okay. I mean, for what you're going to be using this thing for, for what I was expecting, 8 out of 10. I'm gonna 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Cool. So, all right. So let's get into this thing. Nuo Man E10. So it is about 2,200 pounds, right? So 1 metric ton. I'm sure you guys want to know the cost. I'm going to go further into it on a breakdown. So first of all, the reason why it was so delayed. I didn't get a broker beforehand. I thought I could act as my own broker. Turns out that's more complicated than you think. Get a broker from the beginning. So the excavator itself was $3,350, right? Well, then shipping to the US was $2,000. So $5,000 into it right there. If you take out the time that I got charged for it being in storage, and let's say you want to pick it up yourself from port, or if you live on a coast or near a port that it can be shipped to, shipping was about $1,000 to get it here. So realistically, the cost to get it here, if you take out errors on my part, you're looking, close to $7,500, $7,800 if everything goes right. So that's going to be a roundabout price. I can do a better breakdown in the future, but let's just get on with the unboxing. So, Briggs & Stratton gas engine. I mean, fairly decent steel plate. It didn't have any gas in it, so I'll have to put some gas in there. What is the horsepower? It's like 14 horsepower, so it's coupled to your hydraulic pump. Got a hydraulic filter. This is your hydraulic reservoir. This right here is your battery switch. This is going to be your throttle, hour meter, ignition. So that's everything back here. From anything that you could be doing with this thing for something this size, I mean, you guys just saw me hit it with the hammer. Bumps and scrapes. It's not like it's sheet metal. So I think for what it is, it's pretty well protected. It came with a toolbox, which we're going to look at in just a second. The boom construction. I was expecting maybe some tack welds and stuff. It's a full welded boom. This looks to be a big ugly piece of cast. They're not using standard excavator style pins, and then different spots as you go along here. It's like, oh, this is stripped out or something. It's not stripped out. I guess in order to save money, they grease it, pull the grease zerk out, and put these plugs in. So they leave you with a few grease zerks, but if you want to grease anything, you're installing your own grease zerks. But it did come initially greased. You got these cast teeth. They're bolt-on teeth, cutting edges on the side. I'm gonna say this is a 16-inch bucket. It does have auxiliary hydraulics. I ordered this as cheap as it could come, so it doesn't have a swing boom, if you notice. It does have auxiliary hydraulics, but I didn't get any attachments. Blade. Looks like a front blade. For this size machine, it's about the same thickness as what you would see. It actually has grease zerks on everything there, so it has grease zerks for the swing right there. It's got this cheap mat, which I don't know. I'm assuming the battery's under this. Hydraulic tank right there. So it does have, looks like temperature gauge on there. So that's gonna be it'll give you your hydraulic temperature. I'm assuming that the Briggs & Stratton is going to have an overheat shutdown. It should. It's US EPA approved. It is, I'm not sure if it's grease tensioned or not. I'm going to look into that in a second. So getting into the underframe, sprockets, they appear to be just a pretty plain cast. You have two rollers. The grease below the track right there, I'm assuming means that it's grease tensioned like I thought it was. Of course, you got rubber tracks, swing gear. Moving to the rear towards the bottom. Obviously, air-cooled engine. The hydraulic motors for your drive right here. Those are models of them, if I get in there. So, my one concern with how exposed those are, obviously the underneath side is going to be very durable, but if you're in muck and stuff like that, you're gonna have to watch those hoses. If you're sinking it in mud, it's something you're gonna want to keep an eye on, or if you're walking over brush, that's the type of stuff that's gonna get caught. So the seat is obviously a very tiny seat, small operator station. We've already gone over all this. Your standard 4-link bucket pin right there. Now the dig depth, I'll have to get a chart of the exact specifications here. And then there's the canopy. It came with one of the supports but was missing another. Regardless, I don't think this canopy would provide much in the ways of, you know, safety if it were to tip. It came with this handy dandy toolbox. Let's check out what that's about. So, you got fuel filter, you have miscellaneous nuts and bolts, you have some very good wrenches. I mean, honestly, it's nice they give you anything. Who knows, you might order this and have no tools. And then it has this is a hydraulic filter, and then it actually comes with a lever type grease gun to keep it lubricated. Steel body grease gun. So, power switch we've gone over, key switch. I tried to cycle it just a second ago and the whole thing was spinning loose. Securement on this is okay. I foresee some of the connections having some weather issues. This is pretty, you know, firmly bolted in there. It's actuating that. Your oil level is kind of hard to get to. So you got one on that side of the motor, one on this side of the motor. Man, the best way to get to it, unless there's another dipstick that I'm not seeing, besides the dipstick holding the camera. Anyway, yeah, accessibility is not great as far as that goes. And it does have a pull start. So if your battery's dead, I mean, from here to here, you could probably start it. So, yeah, you could pull start it. You might bust your knuckles right here. I'm not quite sure. The seat is probably going to get a little bit warm in this region right here. I mean, maybe not. We're going to find out. This is a fairly decent plate of steel. But as far as checking your oil, that's it right there. You see that yellow plug? So that's, I mean, it's difficult to get to. I'd say your best bet would be to take these bolts off. So as far as daily serviceability, but most people that get this, they're gonna run this just like I run my generator with my camper, is that it has an oil safety level, and I typically don't check the oil on a small engine every day. I mean, the life for this, they say, is 250 hours. I'm sure it will last much longer than that, but they say bare minimum 250 hours. That's a lot of hours on this thing. People are like, oh my gosh, that's terrible, that's terrible. But here's the realistic part of it. This is such a cheap motor. Let's say this thing craps out. You don't want to fix it, whatever the case is. You take this crossbar off, you take this piece off, you take this piece off. Okay, you're an hour into it. Unbolt this motor, put another motor of a similar size back in here that'll bolt up. So pretty much any Briggs and Stratton, I don't know if Kawasaki's bolt pattern would work, I don't know, but I mean, guys, to swap an engine on this, you're talking 600 bucks. If you're actually using this, and do I think you could, well, I haven't operated it yet, but based on what I've seen so far, would it be a little bit embarrassing if it showed up on a job site? Maybe. But if all I'm doing is digging some gutter downspouts, so far, we'll see what it actually turns out to be, but so far, it doesn't seem like it would be an issue. And then to touch on all the hoses and fittings that I'm seeing. All these hoses, all these fittings, the pressures, the sizes, the crimping, it all looks like stuff that's going to be generic stock items. Most places are going to have it. Everybody's going to have Briggs and Stratton shit, air filters, whatever. All these hoses. I mean, the thing, it's pretty. You got your swing motor right there, so you can see that. You would access that from under the seat. I still can't see the freaking, I'm assuming that I know where the battery is, but I still have not actually put eyes on the battery. Okay, I think it's got to be under here. It's got to be under here. 2-bolt cover. That's definitely where the battery is. It's only got 2 bolts on here to take this cover up. So, side note, with all this open space you have right here, I'm assuming this is for different models, right? So for the diesel model, you probably have a larger cooler right here. You know, the radiator might be here. Who knows? And also, yeah, 13.5 horsepower, 420 cc. It's a Briggs & Stratton XR Professional. So it's actually a professional grade Briggs & Stratton. Who knows what that'll actually mean to this, but anyway, what I was getting at, you could do, I mean, you can get standard size latching toolboxes. I don't see why you couldn't, either top side or right here, cut an area out and actually put a small toolbox. Keep a grease gun in there, some grease tubes, and it's far enough away from the engine, I don't think it would get real warm. So if you're a homesteader, if you're looking to get this for whatever reason, that might be a pretty good, probably don't want to hit it with a hammer. That's going to take away a few cubic inches of storage, obviously. But, I mean, really, I mean, I thought I was smacking it pretty good. Like, you're not going to get the same, I mean, I'd get a little better hit. But this is what you want. On the back, this is the main impact area right here. So, seeing that, I'm pleased with that. Okay, let me get some gas in it. I know what's wrong with it. I ain't got no gas in it. And these security cans are gonna make me lose my mind, so I'm dripping fuel everywhere. Yep, just like that. See how these safety spill cans, they're making a mess everywhere? How a normal can wouldn't have. Absolute shite. Now I'm going to wash my hand off after this. It'd be nice if it had a spout, you know? Or if they had like an attachable spout that would make it to where you could fill it right here without spilling it, because then you could just take your can or whatever. Because I run diesel in all my equipment, so I can't fill this off of anything. I would have to think ahead and bring a 5-gallon gas can. Now, I'm sure you could run on a 5-gallon gas can almost all day. That's something we're actually going to find out once we get into further testing, but, you know, for right now, we're just hoping this mug fires up and runs real good like. Oh, I hate these safety cans. It's for the children. Your children are drinking gasoline out of a can. You're either a bad parent or they have no hope. Hopefully we don't get a banner for that. That's why I got deleted off my last TikTok. Whoops. Okay, so we had about 2.5 gallons in here. I'd say that's what this tank is. It looks to be a 2.5 gallon tank. So I'm gonna, oh, here we go, nice rag. It's okay, gasoline evaporates a lot better than diesel. So yeah, 2.5 gallons, filled it about to the brim, boy. I'm wondering what operating pattern it's gonna be on. I think in China they use, come on. In China they use standard. I think. Don't hold me to it, I think. It does have a choke, it is carbureted. You can see it from the worst angle possible over here. I don't know, let's try it without the choke. I'm gonna get this out of the way. I don't know why they bothered with whoever the hell this is. Looks like they're letting me keep it. I think I'd rather have my, so that's where you put a thumb. I actually have a thumb that I think will fit on here. I think. It should. It's small enough. We're gonna see. Yeah, it's got an LED light. And since it has the wiring connections and it has a battery, this is a pretty standard plug. And it appears to be some sort of shitty composite housing. So you should be able to put whatever kind of, you know, it should dissipate heat and whatnot. But you could put better lights on here if you wanted. Typically, oh, you know what? There's a cutout right here on this side. I bet on the upgraded model, they cut that out. So, key contact. if there's a fuel valve I have to turn on. I can't see what the fuck I'm doing here. Alright, so I just choked it. You can reach the choke. Okay. I'm assuming it'll start a little bit better. I mean, they put enough fuel in it to run it for probably 5 minutes, and then it ran itself dry. So, I mean, it was completely dry on fuel. So, we're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. Alright, well, maybe you shouldn't kill it. Choke it again, like she's got daddy issues. Well, I think this is extremely hard ground. That's a fact of this. My 50,000 pound excavator had a hard time. I mean, it's just extremely dense, extremely dry. This is super hard digging. I think a little bit smaller bucket would help, but really the power's good. Like getting it started here, I think these teeth are a little bit long. They're not really. Oh. I know what's wrong with it. The teeth are on the wrong side of the bucket, Grant, look. The bolts are supposed to be up top. They're totally backwards. I didn't even realize that. No wonder it can't dig. Oh my God. Yeah, these are just dragging through the dirt. You can't pick up anything. Oh my God. I'll tell you what, we're gonna make that the end of video 1 here. We're gonna get these stupid teeth swapped around the way that they should be, and you're gonna see video 2 on some better testing with this tomorrow, because that, I mean, why would it? Why would it grab any dirt? Look at the way it's angled. I did not even think of that. That is the funny, imagine if they were flipped around. That is hilarious. Hey, what, you know, they're on the other side of the world, so maybe they flip their teeth the opposite way, maybe? You think that, does that make any sense?
I don't know.
Well, their ground's upside down, so this might actually work better. If you're digging from China, this could be better. But digging to China, we're gonna need to flip these, so that's what we're gonna do.